is Jets at Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Hello, Jim Toth.
Guess who's back?
You couldn't keep me away from Free For All Friday.
Don't call it a comeback. He's been here for years. 204 rocking the mic.
780-6868. Jets at Noon brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line. Win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. We'll announce the winner later in the program.
Did you hear Dylan Samberg yesterday? We helped him at Wash Method. So he did his interview, and during it, he's like, "We love Winnipeg, and we're hoping want to start a family soon." And I said, "Look, if you want to start a family when you get back to Winnipeg, you take the bride to Wash Method." Forche fired up the sheriff, and he's like, "Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that. We live on a dirt road, so I could use that." And I'm like, "I expect an announcement by probably January, February." And then we'll take credit,
well,
right?
That's what happens when you come live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza, which is what we do all the time.
BP
hooking up little Sandbergs, and I did hear that, Jim. I did hear that.
Forche said, if they have a child, he will claim he had something to do with it.
Okay, well, they're back in town by September, right? So just keep a track 9 months after.
I'm not keeping track of this. But if they
November,
announce,
December, January,
we'll
February,
know.
March, April, May,
You're right.
June.
I'm starting a calendar.
Put it on the calendar. Which is big.
Mid to late June, early July. Just keep track.
Because it's big because we don't keep track of anything here. People are like, who was that on the show yesterday? I'm like, I don't know. I forget. But we'll keep track of this. We'll track it. No pressure.
Text the show. Give us a call. Phone lines are open. 204-780-6868. You can be like Dave, who says, and of course, what do we do every Free For All Friday? We take whatever opinions you want to throw at us, whatever you want to talk about in regards to the Winnipeg Jets. We consider it, just like David. David, who says, what do you guys think about Nick Schmaltz for Morgan Barron?
Nick Schmaltz for Morgan Barron.
Some Schmaltz with the you know what? Before we go, there's this interesting thing going on with the Utah Mammoth. Did you see that?
No.
Well, Nick Schmaltz had 63 points last.
He's 29 years old.
29 years old with 63 points. I love Morgan Barron. He is fantastic.
He looks like Joe Caligiuri. Do you know who Joe Caligiuri is?
No idea.
Former U of M Bison goaltender. I think he's a practitioner of law now. But that looks like Joe.
So 588 games, 423 points. Morgan Barron, 256 points, 60 points. So, yes, David, if the Utah Hockey Club, now known as the Mammoth, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, want to make that trade, I would make that trade. And that's no insult to Morgan Barron, who I love.
You'd give up
as a
on
hockey
Morgan?
player.
He's only 26 years old.
If he could put together a 30-point season.
Look, I would love that deal. I think he's a former first-round pick in the 2014 draft by Chicago. He's got 423 points in 588 games. I think that would be a great acquisition, actually.
Well, but again, David, that is a trade that is never going to happen.
Well, unless you threw in a pick and maybe a defenseman.
Maybe that's what David's talking about.
And David, I think that name was kicked around when he was with Arizona. I don't know if that's why you're bringing it up or if you just had a brilliant idea, but when he was, Utah is Arizona, but a couple of years ago when they were looking for centers, that name came up a couple of times that the Jets might be interested in him.
This texter says, hey, Toth, only thought of that because I texted the idea. Also, I'm going to take credit for the offspring. So, Dylan Samberg wants to start a family. Jim should be suggesting a car wash. Help a guy out with a free pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
are there listeners out there who'd like to start a family and need that little extra jump?
Well, then you better call and give us a good Jets take. And then you
780-6868.
And then you'll get your VIP car wash from our good friends over there at Wash Method.
You go to Boston Pizza and you get a Great White North or a Boston Brute, and then you drive down St. Anne's and you go through and you might get old. Where are we going? Where are we going home? I got something special.
lined up. Also, hey, to wrap up into that VIP car wash, give us a call at the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15. Only at BP. The winner is going to be handed out a $50 gift card to Boston Pizza today. So already have that winner all locked up.
Yeah.
You can't win today's, but if you want to win next week's, call 780-6800.
And I appreciate the text that they're trying to claim it was get Dylan to wash method. But I've been pumping wash method romance for well over a year.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Hey, Rob.
It's just a natural fit.
Welcome to Jets at Noon. What's on your mind?
Hey, no, a couple of points. One is I know that we're talking about the best way of improving the Jets. And one area that I really hoping they would pursue is Alex Tuch out of Buffalo, because he wants to get out of Buffalo. And he is a monster in the playoffs.
I'm a big fan of Alex Tuch. I'm a big fan of Alex Tuch. I like everything about him. I like how he plays hockey. I like him as a leader. There's not much I don't like about him.
I like everything about Alex Tuch too, but he's a right winger. And David Pagnotta was on with us on Wednesday, and he did a really good job when talking about any player of the Alex Tuch ilk. It's talent in and talent out. And so if you want to get Alex Tuch, and he would be a top 6 guy, he's a right winger, I think you're talking about Cole Perfetti.
Maybe, but you know what? In hindsight, I'm willing to make that trade because I want to get the cup now. And Perfetti is still a work in progress.
The other thing is, Rob, because it's Buffalo, you might be able to get away with a prospect or two and a high, like a first-round pick. You might be able, because Buffalo, but the difference between Minnesota, like an Rossi, is they want talent in for talent out. And Buffalo might actually consider like some depth.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No, I think Buffalo's going to want roster players. They got to get out of. They got to get into the playoffs. They got to start winning some games.
Yeah, but Buffalo's a mess. So they for years have been doing that.
Yeah, but they're a mess now. But like, are they going to be? Well, I'll give you a second, Rob. Are they going to be willing to hand out? Like take in more prospects and like say, okay, we'll push this back. Like I think if they would get rid of Alex Tuch, it would only to improve their team. And I think it would be guys on the roster. That's my opinion. It would be someone like Cole Perfetti. But I love Alex Tuch.
I think the problem with Buffalo being a mess, too, is they don't think they're a mess. They're an absolute train wreck, but the management doesn't think that. They think that they're building something, and they think that, but I love that idea for sure if you get an Alex Tuch in here.
Yeah. Okay, second point, and just fast. Whatever happened to us buying back our history from Utah or getting our history back?
You know what? It's interesting that you bring that up, and we talked about that last week. And I remember there was all that talk about, Bettman said, oh, that's an interesting idea. I said that last year when the Coyotes moved to Utah, and I have not heard anything else since then. I don't know the situation. I don't like the Coyotes have not folded. Like the Arizona Coyotes never folded. They relocate, the players in the organization relocated, but the actual Arizona Coyotes brand, logo, all that still exists.
Still in Arizona.
It's still in Arizona. It's just a team that's on hiatus or however you want to put it, but there's a legal term for the way that they say that. So the history of the Utah Mammoth, who I want to talk about later on in the show, there's another crazy lawsuit going on there, and I want to get Jim's thoughts on it. They did not go with the team. They're a total fresh new franchise. So I don't know where it is. Maybe that it's a situation that's going to wait for the Coyotes if and when they come back. I do believe they will come back at some time. As soon as a rink goes there, or Ishbia, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, wants to build a new arena there. And wants to also include a hockey team. I think he'd be granted a franchise if he built a new arena for the Suns, the NBA Suns, and then also decided he also wanted to do an NHL team there too. I think that's their most likely scenario, but I don't know. I would like them to be here, but I don't know. Jim, have you heard anything else?
No, I just know it's sitting in Arizona, and I'm with Cam last night. I think that within 3 to 5 years, they would like to expand and put a team back there if they get a new arena and everything like that.
Okay, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. When the Jets first left in '97, did the name follow them?
Yeah.
Or did the name follow them to Arizona?
Well, they owned all the branding, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
At the time, the Coyotes owned the branding because they could wear, like, there was like anything with the Jets logo on it, they had it.
Okay. No, the reason why is because I was hoping that we can use like a precedent, like the Cleveland Browns in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? Because they got up and middle of the night, they loaded the vans up and they moved, but then they kept their history.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope one day that happens, but as of right now, it isn't. It's not the case. So anyways, thanks, Rob. I appreciate the call.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. We appreciate it. 780-6868 and a free-for-all Friday. We're off to a great start. Yeah. Alex Tuch, Nick Schmaltz, and Jets history.
Who do you think? Well, you could be like Lori. Lori texts the guys. Well, Lori, you know what you texted me, and you know why I'm not going to read it. It said, anyways, let's take a break. Lori, here's what Lori says. Hi, guys. In terms of wash method, I'm going to read it. We've had our kids, our grandkids, but damn, that place sounds sexy. We always need that, LOL, Lori. Don't we all?
Lori, look at Mr. Miller and say, let's go for a car ride tonight.
Stop at a BP on the way back.
Couple brutes. Maybe on the way. Who knows? What a way to kick off your weekend. I know that much.
Just let the night take care of itself.
Just like the suds and soap. Let it wash over you. See what happens.
204-780-6868. Free for all Friday. Phone lines are open. Text lines open. We'll be right back. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. The number one caller will be awarded a $50 gift card to Boston Pizza on Friday. If you are on the line, don't go anywhere. We'll get to you in the next little bit. But Jim, I just saw this. It came across the line here. The Champions Hockey League. Do you know about the Champions Hockey League in Europe? It's like
a little bit. Yeah.
It's like the Champions League in Europe, like in soccer.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the Champions Hockey League. They remain committed in a press release. They remain committed to developing the game by adding a new rule to 3-on-3 overtime starting in the 25-26 season. The rule is being introduced in close cooperation and in agreement with the International Ice Hockey Federation, the IIHF. The no-return rule will prohibit teams in control of the puck in the attacking zone during 3-on-3 from retreating into the neutral zone during overtime. Should the rule be infringed, play will be stopped, and the ensuing face-off will take place in the offending team's defending zone. What do you think about that?
I love it.
Yeah, I think that you'll probably see they should do that in the NHL.
As much as I love the 3-on-3, like if you retreat, you can have the puck for 2.5 minutes.
Which I don't think that. It was 3-on-3 when it first came out was exactly as they wanted it to be. But now
everybody went for it.
Now coaching has gotten in the way. Stupid hockey coaches, smart, brilliant hockey minds have ruined it. And now it's not as nearly as exciting. But when it first came in, it was insanity.
It's still exciting to me. I still love it. And if you can hold it for 3.5 minutes and make some changes, good for you. But I think this promotes more offense. I think that now if you gain the zone and you're in trouble or you get pinned against the boards, the safe play is just throw it on net and hope for a face-off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it goes the other way. I think it'll create more offense.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the idea.
Let's take a break. If you're on the line, don't go anywhere. We'll get you right after the next little bit. And I want to talk about the Utah Mammoth. They're also dealing with another lawsuit. And we got a great call to the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline with a question. We'll play that when we return. Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line or by call. We'll win a VIP car wash from my good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program or as they call. As we're coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta, bring the team to Boston Pizza. Also, while you're at it, download the Jets at Noon podcast free now on Apple, Spotify, Face-to-Face on YouTube, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts with plenty of memorable Jets talk and episodes and special content exclusively found there, so you can take Jets at Noon wherever you go, whenever you want. And on today's edition, we talk about which Jet, past or present, is closest to the Hall of Fame. So it's a great conversation. Make sure you take you download the exclusive portion of the podcast and hear us discuss that. But we got Rick has been on the line patiently waiting. Hey, Rick, what's going on?
Hi, Rick.
Cam, Jim. before I get to what I was going to talk about, you mentioned that Champions 3-on-3 rule change.
Yeah.
I think the big reason there is the European ice surface. Like you got pretty good control in the NHL rinks when you do that tactic, but I could just imagine just how difficult it is to get the puck back on the bigger rinks. Like,
that's a good point. That's a good point, Rick. That's a good point.
Yeah, European ice. I'm glad we don't have that. I wanted to say that Morgan Barron has to be the most talented, underused player we have, and with these new openings that Schmaltz trade made me think of this. I mean, he has got to have more than fourth line minutes. He's just too good. 6'4", 220, skates like the wind. He's got to at least be permanent fixture on the third line, at least.
Do you think he's going to be there with Mason Appleton going to Detroit? Do you think that it's going to be his spot?
Well, I hope he has a chance, especially with Lowry on the injury list until probably the new year or late December. Certainly hope he gets a chance because I mean we have some resources without having to go find them. I'm thinking, and I think he's a major one. And when we got these new old guys that we signed, they can go in the fourth line.
Well, he can play center. That's for sure. He can play center.
Yeah. And my other question was Gary Bettman. How long does he have left, and who's going to replace him?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be Bill Daly, the deputy, automatically. I mean, is that what's?
Well, Bill Daly's getting up there too, so yeah. I don't know, but it would be somebody I would think that's in the office already and in the fold. I mean, he's with the Players Union, but Ron Hainsey's been with the Players Union. He was a rep when he was here with the Jets, and then he went on, and now he's like VP of the Players Union. I don't know if he'd switch over and be commissioner, but. And I don't know if the owners would want an ex-player doing it as opposed to like a lawyer and stuff. But I think Bill Daly was always the natural progression. But I don't know if Bill would do it or not. But I would think that he would be at the forefront. And then there's other executives in the office that have been there for a while that I think that would be there too. Bill Daly himself is 61. So
there's nothing confirmed out there. The NHL's never made it exactly public, but the last confirmed contract extension publicly announced was for 6 years through 2022, but subsequent media and insider reports indicated that a new deal or extension, likely for 5 years, may have been signed around 2022, 2023, which would extend his tenure through 2027, although nothing has been made official by the league.
I thought I heard or read, so don't quote me directly on this, but I thought Gary wanted to see another Olympics, like go through another Olympics. Now I don't know if the reason I don't know, I thought I heard that from somebody or I read that somewhere, but he's 73 years old, so I wouldn't be surprised that if he does another season here, they have an Olympics in the NHL, and then at 74 or 75. He retires. And then Bill Daly at 61 could do the job very easily if that's something he always wanted to do.
It depends. Would they want to bring in, if the owners trust him and the governors trust him?
I think they do.
Yeah.
Like Bill Daly, a lot of times over the years when we've requested Gary Bettman, he's done it the odd time, but mostly it's Bill Daly.
Yeah. And
Bill Daly speaks on behalf of the commissioner and does, I think he's, what is his title? It's like assistant, right?
Deputy,
deputy commissioner. So he's right up there, but Bill Daly has joined us more often than Gary Bettman has over the years, in my experience, and speaks on behalf of the league. So I think it'd be a natural progression for him.
Yeah, and at 60, it would depend. I mean, if the league they trust him, and I think in a position like that, if you have somebody that's been around, since the 90s, like Gary's been around a long time. And so I think, would you want to just bring in somebody new? Because if somebody is coming in at 60, Gary Bettman might be about 75 when he decides he's going to retire. He might want to stick around. Like, okay, let's bridge the gap for another decade or so, and then we'll find somebody perhaps younger, bring in another deputy, somebody else that can be groomed. But it all depends on how the governors want to handle it. They want to bring in somebody new. They want somebody younger.
They might want like a 45, 50-year-old.
Somebody that can be around for a long time.
I like your way of thinking. I think this is known. Like, I think Gary has said, "Hey, I've got 2 more years in me," or something like this. Yeah. And I don't know if it's 2 or whatever, but I did remember the stuff about wanting to see another Olympics in the National Hockey League players. I would think that Bill Daly would be the natural progression for a 3 to 5 year deal.
Yeah.
Maybe 5, maybe 3. And then during that tenure, the new associate or whatever commissioner that Bill Daly has would be the next guy or woman coming up. I think it should be open that way, but it would be, we often do this. Like Gary started when he was young. And my biggest problem, and not to get political, Rick, but my biggest problem with politicians now is in other countries, like my friend who is grew up with me but goes back to Germany a lot. He's a German heritage. He's like, when you go to Europe, all the leaders, all the prime ministers, the presidents, everything are in their 40s. Like they can do the job. America elects these people that are in their late 70s, early 80s. And I get it because you need the wealth to do it. You need to have
the contacts
that old to do it.
Because
But that's
crazy.
one of the things that, like, I don't want to sit here and say age if you can do the job, you can do the job. I don't care what your age is. But jobs like this, you should get somebody in there that you probably think is a 20-year future with that person.
Rick, go ahead.
He was a marketing genius, apparently, at the NBA. That's why they brought them in. So what is going to be the next big need? I think labor relations is going to be huge. And then other than that, with I don't know, the new technology coming on, I agree, someone a little bit more in touch with what's coming around the bend that's going to affect the NHL is going to be needed. So
yeah, that's such a great question, Rick. I mean, what is the next big thing for the league? Is it a move to, I mean, they're already starting the move to streaming. Is that the next big question? Is it globalizing the industry? Is it continuing to increase the value of the franchises?
I just saw this debate. Rick, do you know who Luke Wilson is? The former NFL tight end. He's Canadian, does a lot of work on TSN now, and he's covering the CFL.
He was in Winnipeg recently too. Covering the game.
So he put out on X today, if the CFL really cared about the younger demographic, he goes, they don't. If they did, they would market themselves better. The league doesn't, he goes, teams market themselves, but if the CFL really wanted to attract a younger demo, they would have a social media team. And they would hire some individuals that start, like, that's the future, right? And then I started thinking, the CFL league office does nothing like this. If you watch NFL training camps right now, it's the teams, but the league itself is marketed everywhere online. Everywhere you go, teams, the league, everything. And I thought that's a great point by a guy who's Canadian, covering the CFL now, but played in the NFL. Like, the CFL doesn't have a social media team that's putting stuff out daily from the league. That's how you market to a younger crowd. And then I to this conversation, Rick, like the NHL, I think as a league does a good job, but I know that they put it on the teams extensively. Like the Jets social media team just won the Stanley for best social media team this year.
I didn't know.
And they encourage that. They encourage that all the time. And they go to meetings. Like I know that the communications department and the social media teams, they won that award in Seattle. They go to meetings in July, and it's a week-long or week-and-a-half-long meetings about how to market yourself and the league. And I think somebody who would understand that would be great as an ex-commissioner.
And just to give props to the Bombers, I mean, anybody who's been to a game, there's tons of young people there, man. It's crazy. There's more young people there than
the Bombers are a prime example of what Luke Wilson was referencing. Some teams do it very well. The Bombers do it exceptional.
Yeah.
Their social media team and Wade Miller hiring them and they get it, right?
Yeah.
But where's the CFL as a league?
Well, that's why the Commissioner Stewart, the new Commissioner Stuart Johnston was in Winnipeg recently. I mean, he's like,
and he's a TV background.
Well, that's right. And he's looking around and he's like, this is what the league needs to be. It needs to be like the Bombers.
And part of Luke Wilson's rant was the league doesn't want to market itself. It wants TSN to market it for them.
Yeah.
And that's a mistake. You as a league should be having meetings like the NHL does with the 9 teams in the offseason going, how are you promoting yourselves? And here's how to do it. And they shouldn't be putting it on the TV contract to market your league for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we just had that with Siegel, right? With YYZ, he was talking about that. I forgot.
Streaming and all that for sports.
And he mentioned, and he was talking about that. He's like, how 10, 15 years ago, how many of you were watching the highlights, the sports highlights in the morning? Because I know that when I was growing up as a kid, I watched every single day and night. I watched the highlights.
My 13-year-old eats breakfast turns on.
Because it used to be the band across the bottom. Me and my brother, we used to take sticky notes and we used to cover the bottom because we didn't want the score ruined for us, because we like to watch. Yeah, we used to do this, and because we used to like to watch the whole show, and we loved to see. It was like a TV show. Like, well, who's going to win? What's the score going to end up being? Like, that's what we used to do. And that's, I watch it at the gym early in the morning every single day, but I don't know how many people are still doing that.
I'm harping on the Luke Wilson rant about the CFL, but you get the point. Like, Rick, I think you're onto something, Rick. And it doesn't have to be a 25-year-old. It can be a 45-year-old that knows what they're doing and how to market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be accessible, too. This whole thing with the Sportsnet's kind of frightening.
Yeah.
It's getting too expensive. I mean, I grew up with Hockey Night in Canada once a week and maybe 15 Jets games televised during the year. So now it's a lot better, but I don't know.
It's going to get It's and just to give him some credit. It was a YYZ Sports Media. Jonas Siegel was on the show and he was absolutely fantastic. We'll have him on again shortly.
Rick, I kind of think you should be the next commissioner.
But he also but he also said that it's going to become more and more expensive until something comes along, undercuts everybody. Everybody will go to that, and then it'll get cheap again. But we're in the period where we're in a big steep incline, and eventually something's going to come around. It's going to change the game. There'll be a steep decline, and it'll get cheaper. But it's going to get more expensive in the time being for the foreseeable future. That's my belief, at least. That's what Jonas Siegel's talking about, and I happen to agree with him.
Okay then.
All right, thanks, Rick. Hey, great call. Rick. Hey, do you want a car wash, bud?
Oh, I can use one for sure.
Oh, you do?
There you go, Rick.
All right, thanks, Rick. Let's go to Steve.
Enjoy.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. What's up?
I just wanted to say that I don't think you should really. I mean, he might have been right in this situation, but Luke Wilson doesn't have the highest opinion of the CFL, even though he covers it for a living.
But Steve, we need that in the Canadian Football League. We need somebody who's been a part of the greatest sports machine on the planet to come in and give some honest views of what he would know firsthand to make this league go. 2 teams of 9 make money. They've been talking about expansion for over a decade now, and it's not happening. They need somebody to come in and shake it up and start doing things in a different way, because the average age of a CFL fan is well into their late 40s.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? And I think too people that CFL fans in Winnipeg go to games and they sell out Princess Auto Stadium and they see all age groups, young kids, old, like full family groups,
and Regina.
Yeah, exactly. Generations going to Bomber games.
But who goes to an Argos game?
Exactly. It says just go to Calgary. I'm telling you, I was a part of the broadcast team in Calgary for 3 years when I lived there. I did stats. I was at McMahon Stadium every single game. I saw just over those 3 years. I saw the crowd shrink. I saw it get older, and I didn't see any young people there.
Steve, to the point of this is
that was 10 years ago. That was closed out 10 years ago, and I'm telling you, it has not improved.
To the point of this, and he didn't address it specifically, Luke didn't, but here's what he's talking about. Calgary, for years, avoided the Stampede and sent that football team on the road when 1 million people are coming to town.
Yeah.
The reverse thinking this year is they not only had a game at home, but they made it into some kind of cowboy thing, and the Bombers were there, and that place was packed because there's an extra 1 million people or so in that city. So why not host a game? That kind of thinking. Yeah. What the BC owner's done the past couple of years with Snoop Dogg and LL Cool J, and their attendance has gone up.
Yeah, it has been.
Luke is right. He might be a little brash and he might be a little rude because he's never been in the league and he's ruffling some older feathers.
Yeah, I agree.
But what he's talking about is going to save the CFL.
And also Luke Wilson also is, I would say that he calls it like he sees them. He calls balls and strikes. There's been a lot of times that he's been very glowing of the CFL in the game. He has been.
Well, I don't know about that.
Just go on his calling
the league Bush League.
No, go on his social media. Just go on his X account and you will see some stuff. I mean, he's being brash. There's no doubt about it. He's taking some people off.
It's not all perfect because he doesn't have the familiarity that even you have.
He seems like a guy who's parachuted in.
But we gotta. I think whenever you ruffle feathers, I think we got to look at a bigger picture. And I think the general message he's bang on. But there has been some times, Steve, you're right, where it's like, okay, that's a little aggressive, but the whole message can't be lost in that.
Steve, let's take a break. Let's come back on the other side. I want to play our winning caller into the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hockey hotline. And as well, I almost said the Colorado Mammoth. That's of the NLL, of the National Lacrosse League. I'm not a lacrosse guy at all.
You got to get your mammoth together.
I got to get my mammoth together. We got to go to the state over and talk about the Utah Mammoth. They're also in another lawsuit. We'll be right back.
CJOB.
Miss your chance. Get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets and Noon Hockey Hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Come in for your lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. Here is our number one caller who's won $50 to Boston Pizza. It's from Kevin. All right, here we go. Let me put this. There we go.
Yeah, just sitting here having a beautiful chocolate shake to quench my thirst. I was wondering, since we're talking about all this
nothing quenches
contracts and stuff like that, maybe you guys can go through how
milk was
actually guys get paid. You know, like how much they get when they go to the AHL, to the, you know, if they get called up to the big club. I wonder if you could go through all that for us. Have a great day, guys.
Yeah, Kevin. So there's two-way contracts. Players sign two-way contracts. There's what is made public is their AAV if they stay in the NHL. As far as I know, I don't think the AHL discloses all of their salaries.
If you have a one-way contract and you go to the A, you make your NHL contract.
Yeah.
If you have a two-way or just an AHL contract, that's what you make. If you have a two-way, you have a salary for the A and you have a salary for the NHL. And it's why a lot of veterans, like at the end of their career that spend the whole year in the A, get called up for the last 5 or 7 games of the season because it's an extra, it's $5K a game usually, probably gives them an extra $30,000. It's a thank you to a 30-something veteran for playing in the A all year.
The Utah Mammoth filed a lawsuit against Mammoth Hockey over the name. You remember the Utah Yetis? Well, that almost came to, but they were bounced because of the legal action around Yeti coolers. Now they're going after Mammoth Hockey, which sells high-end hockey bags. And apparently Mammoth Hockey liked the name Mammoth going to an NHL team. And now it's gotten hairy. Now they're going to, now there's another lawsuit about a name.
I see maybe a collaboration in the future.
No, they tried to collaborate.
And it didn't go.
They
have a mammoth battle on their hands.
Ha 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 ha. Thank you very much,
Terrible
Jeffrey
way to start your
Forche, for
Friday
producing the
with that
show.
joke.
Thank you very much to Jeffrey Forche. See you, Jim. Something on the 2 o'clock. See you.
He's mammoth.